Imagine spending 27 years in a prison cell, not for a crime you committed, but for believing in equality, for dreaming of freedom, for standing up to injustice. Now, imagine that instead of letting those 27 years destroy you, you use them to become stronger, wiser, unbreakable. This is the story of Nelson Mandela, a man who transformed one of history's greatest injustices into one of its most inspiring victories. And he didn't do it with anger. He didn't do it with bitterness. He did it with a philosophy that's over 2,000 years old, a philosophy that can change your life too. Today, we're diving deep into the mind of Nelson Mandela and the ancient Stoic principles that turned a prisoner into a president and a cell into a classroom of resilience. If you've ever felt trapped, powerless, or beaten down by life, this story is for you. Let's go back to 1962. Nelson Mandela wasn't a global icon yet. He was a 44-year-old lawyer and activist fighting against apartheid, South Africa's brutal system of racial segregation. He had a wife, children, a future. But on August 5th, 1962, that future was ripped away. Mandela was arrested, charged with sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. In 1964, he was sentenced to life in prison. They sent him to Robben Island, a cold, isolated prison off the coast of Cape Town. His cell, 6 feet by 9 feet, a straw mat on the floor, a bucket for a toilet, no bed, no privacy, no freedom. For the first years, Mandela was forced to do hard labor, breaking rocks in a limestone quarry under the scorching African sun. His hands bled, his eyes were damaged by the glare. Guards insulted him, denied him basic dignity. And this wasn't for months or even years. 27 years. 27 years of isolation, of humiliation, of watching the world move on without you. Most people would have broken. They would have given up, fallen into despair, let rage consume them. But Mandela didn't. Instead, he made a choice rooted in an ancient philosophy that would not only save his sanity, but prepare him to lead a nation. There's a line from the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius that perfectly captures what Mandela understood. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the cornerstone of Stoicism. You cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond. Mandela couldn't control the guards. He couldn't control the government. He couldn't control the 27 years they stole from him. But he could control his mind, his attitude, his inner freedom. In prison, Mandela studied. He read Shakespeare, Tolstoy, and yes, the Stoics. He reflected, he meditated, he wrote letters filled with wisdom and hope, even when hope seemed impossible. Another Stoic, Epictetus, who himself was once a slave, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Mandela internalized this. He realized that his captors could lock up his body, but they could never imprison his mind, his values, his vision. And so, in that tiny cell, Mandela began building something far more powerful than any weapon, an unbreakable spirit. He refused to let anger poison him. He refused to see himself as a victim. Instead, he saw prison as a test, a crucible that would either destroy him or forge him into steel. And he chose steel. But here's where the story gets even more incredible. Mandela didn't just survive prison, he transformed it.
he began to see Robben Island not as a tomb, but as a university. He called it Robben Island University, and he and other political prisoners shared knowledge, debated ideas, and educated one another. Mandela taught younger inmates about history, about strategy, about dignity. He helped them see that their minds were free, even if their bodies were not. And then came the real turning point, the moment that defined Mandela's character forever. Mandela made a radical decision. He would treat his prison guards with respect, not because they deserved it, but because he deserved to remain human. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Mandela lived this. He refused to let hatred consume him. He learned Afrikaans, the language of his oppressors, so he could communicate with them, understand them, even eventually humanize them. One guard later said that Mandela taught him more about being a decent human being than anyone else in his life. Think about that. The man locked in a cage became the teacher. The prisoner became the guide. On February 11, 1990, after 27 years, Mandela walked out of that prison. But he didn't walk out broken. He didn't walk out bitter. He walked out as a leader, a statesman, a man who had conquered himself and in doing so, prepared to heal an entire nation. 4 years later, he became South Africa's first black president. And instead of seeking revenge, he chose reconciliation. He invited his former jailer to his inauguration. He forgave. Because Mandela understood what Marcus Aurelius knew. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Mandela's victory wasn't just political, it was philosophical, it was spiritual. He proved that the strongest prisons are the ones we build in our own minds, and the greatest freedom is the freedom we choose no matter our circumstances. So what does this mean for you? You might not be in a physical prison, but maybe you're trapped by a bad situation, a toxic relationship, a dead-end job, a painful past. Maybe you feel powerless, like life has dealt you an unfair hand. Nelson Mandela's story teaches us this: you are not your circumstances, you are your response to them. Right now, you have the same power Mandela had in that cell. You can choose your attitude, you can choose your focus, you can grow even in the hardest seasons. Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." So here's your call to action, your Stoic challenge. Identify one area of your life where you feel stuck or powerless. Now, ask yourself, what part of this can I control? Maybe you can't control your boss, but you can control your work ethic and your attitude. Maybe you can't control how someone treated you, but you can control whether you let that define you. Maybe you can't control how long the struggle lasts, but you can control how you grow through it. Start small. Every day, practice this. When something frustrates you, pause. Ask, can I change this, or can I only change my response? When you feel trapped, remember your mind is always free. When you're tempted by anger or bitterness, choose Mandela's path. Don't become like your enemy. Because here's the truth. The world will test you. It will hurt you. It will try to break you. But if you can master your mind, if you can practice Stoicism like Mandela did, you won't just survive. You'll become unbreakable. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in a cell, but he emerged as one of the most powerful leaders in history. Not because he was perfect, not because he never struggled, but because he understood a truth the Stoics taught thousands of years ago. Freedom isn't something the world gives you, It's something you create within yourself. So whatever prison you're facing today, literal or metaphorical, remember Mandela's lesson. You have power over your mind. Realize this, and you will find strength. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you are stronger than you think, and your mind is always free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. If you want to dive deeper into Stoic philosophy and how it can transform your life, check out the videos on screen now. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're just getting started.